Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. I hope each and every one of y'all had a wonderful Monday. This is my first day back to work since my surgery, so everything went, fairly well. Everybody was happy to see me, and I just thank God that I was in great spirit and great health to go back. Um, I'm not really gonna be before y'all long. It was just the inspiration of this morning's prayer would hit home to me. And I was like, you know what? I got to elaborate on this. If I don't do nothing but get up here a few minutes on it and talk about it, I have to elaborate on it. Y'all, I haven't been going live like I normally do, or like I was when I first started out, which is basically every day, or I may skip a day in between. But I see where I'm lacking it, and I know that I won't have to, tighten up. Because if I want God to tighten up with me, I have to tighten up with Him. So I really just didn't go live maybe any of last week, maybe once or twice. But due to my recovery time and all of that, I just had to, get my rest also. So I'm back, y'all. I am definitely back. So with that being said, I'm going to jump right into the message for tonight. And I labeled this one talking about common sense. Something that I ain't gonna say some of us lack, but it's becoming to be an idiotic behavior. It's where people is acting out of the flesh, or whatever suits the situation. I would say at the time, you don't take a moment to think, to process what's going on, and try to think from a spiritual aspect. We all about flesh. We all about, getting that person told. We all about setting the record straight, clearing our name. But when you are anchored in God, you don't have to do all that. You don't have to battle all of that. You don't have to try to clear your name from people dragging your name through the mud, people lying on you, rumors. You don't have to do all that. You really don't. And I'm sorry, y'all. I did not speak hey to everybody that's on here. Hey, cousin. Everybody that's joining in, everybody that's watching now. Hello to you all. But long as you have a relationship with God, you don't have to fight fleshly battles. Not saying that it's gonna get easier. Not saying that God just gonna make your road or path smooth, but He's going to get it to the point where you only going through obstacles that He has set forth, not the ones that we place there on our own, just from being disobedient. He's gonna take us through trials and tribulations just to build our faith, to see how strong we are, and just to run His course before He start blessing us with the consistency and abundance and everything that He has in store for us. He's gonna test us first. So you have to have common sense. Hey Mariah, how you doing? How you and your cute baby doing, girl? But you have to have common sense in the flesh. You have to have common sense in your spiritual being also. Common sense is something that a lot of us is falling unaccustomed to. I'm gonna just plain out say it like that. So I'm gonna read the inspiration for this morning. For this morning. It says, another story about a baby being left in a hot car on a summer day. How many children have to pass away before we get enough sense to stop leaving the babies in the hot car? Common sense doesn't seem to be that common today. People suing fast food restaurants for serving hot coffee, warning labels on hair dryers, warning us not to submerge them in water, warning on knife packages that the blade is sharp. Common sense has taken a back seat to idiotic behavior. Clear thinking has left the building. We learn from these proverbs that wisdom and discretion are what is most needed in the world. These things bring life and grace. If we but practice clear thinking, our lives will benefit. We need to focus doing things that make sense. To think before we speak, before we act. We need to make common sense common again. So, with that being said, a lot of us, we don't think before we act, especially if somebody coming at us sideways or coming at us a way we don't like or don't expect them to. We don't take that time to calm down and actually see what's the reason that they coming at us like that. Y'all, we have to make common sense common again. The way that the world is, how corrupt it's getting, people are just acting out. People are really crying out to God, but they don't really know how. This is not the way that you cry out to God by being, just tearing things up, by cursing Him, breaking the commandments, things of that nature. That is not the way. We are literally crying out. The world is crying out for help. But God said we have to turn from our wicked ways. We all have to turn from our wicked ways. No sin is greater than no sin. So don't think that your sin is the worst thing that's ever been done. Don't think sex before marriage is the most, terrifying thing, or adultery, or, killing, stealing, lying. All of these are commandments. And everybody do everything that's listed, that I listed, and that's listed, period, at least once a day. In some kind of way we fall short, we all backslide. So we all are in need of, tightening up on our relationship with God. Whatever your plan, whatever your goal is, whatever you're achieving to do, no matter what people say, no matter how people act, keep kicking your common sense and grind. Don't let nobody deter you from what you have set forth in your mind to do. No matter what it is, as long as you keep your faith and eyes on the prize, and you have that relationship with God, God got you. And He ain't going to lead you wrong. He going to connect you with people that you thought that you would never connect yourself with, or that you was too good to connect yourself to, or, to be in their presence. People that you never would have dreamed that you would be even holding a conversation with, will be tied to you. And everything that connected to you wins. But you have to learn common sense. You have to decipher, what's best for you. Don't nobody know what's best for you but you. So sometimes you're going to take different paths. Sometimes people are going to look at you funny. Like, well, who she thinks she is? Or why is she doing this? Why is she acting like this? They don't understand the anointing that God has on your life. They don't understand the path that God has you traveling on. But you have to stay faithful. You have to be calming. You have to think. You have to listen, act, and have faith. You just can't act out of flesh, because you will continuously hinder your blessing, and God will not bless you. He will not bless you. He'll curse you before He bless you. And just referring back to that inspiration that I read, you just have to think before you speak. And a lot of people, including myself, I was bad about it. I just pop off in a minute. And then once I calm down and think about it, I'm like, you know what? I could have handled that so much better. Or I could have said this and diffused the situation, or what have you. Sometimes less is better. When you have really and truly grown and matured, and you don't bypass the level that people met you on, you handle things totally different, and it shocks you. When you can actually sit down and think before you speak on something, before you act on something. That's growth. That's something that a lot of people lack, is growth and common sense. That's something that a lot of people don't know how to balance the two. Some people can have common sense, but they can just be just as childish, or they can have growth and no common sense. If it's no balance, you ain't got much to work with. Everybody is capable of having both. It's all about what you apply your energy to. Where your energy goes, your attention flows. So if your energy going to better yourself on growth, and better yourself on common sense, you're going to see the change. You're going to definitely see the change. But if you only giving your energy and attention to growing, you're going to leave the common sense behind. It's not instilled in everybody. If you didn't grow up, sparing the rod, spoiling the child, getting chastised for doing wrong, not just getting time out or in the corner or just things taken from you. If you didn't get those, as the old folks say, you didn't get them whippings that make you think about some things, common sense ain't instilled in you. But now you can't even spare the rod or spoil the child because they call it child abuse. So, times have really changed. I really fear for our new millennial babies. I really, really do. Because they just, I'm not going to say they lost, but they lack understanding. They lack common sense. And I'm not knocking nobody that, have kids early or nothing like that, but it was basically babies raising babies. So they was basically learning on their own while trying to, teach another human being the same thing they was taught. So it's a lot of things that wasn't passed down generation to generation. So that's when God steps in. That's when you really, really pull on God and put your faith in God. All the mothers that's watching, I know from the time that sorry about that, y'all. From the time that y'all more than likely found out y'all was expecting, you began praying for that child. You began asking God to bless you to have a safe delivery, to have a healthy baby. Something my mama always said, and me personally, I don't have kids yet, but it makes sense because I've had a lot of friends and stuff that had kids. When they in your stomach, they on your back. When they on the ground, they on your heart. And that did not make sense until I, witnessed my nieces and nephews or friends' babies being born. And just the love and, the caress that they had with their child, it made a whole lot of sense. The love that a mother has for her child is unremarkable. Just like the love that God has for each one of his children is unremarkable. So we come to him and ask him for guidance, ask him for leadance, ask him to help us get our lives back on track. Some people pray for nice houses, nice cars, A1 credit, everything under the sun. But let me tell y'all something. Before God bless you with the bigger thing that you're praying for, you have to be grateful for where you at now. You have to be grateful for the small things that you have now. He said, if you be grateful over the small things, I'll make you ruler over many. So if you're not happy or you're not grateful for where you at, he may let you sit there another 2 or 3 years. He may let you sit there another couple months before he bless you with something else. Before he gradually add something else on to see, okay, let's see just how grateful are you. Let's just see how, if you're going to appreciate this. As long as you're appreciating the little things, he'll gradually add on to it. And before you know it, you'll be stepping off in that house. Sorry, y'all. Be stepping off in that car. You'll be able to have the A1 credit that you're praying for. Everything that you're praying for, God hears it, and he writes it down. And then he executes a plan for you to get it. He executes a plan before you get it. So he's going to test you before he bless you. So y'all, I love each and every one of y'all dearly. Do not despise small things. Amen, cousin. Don't despise it. Be grateful for it. So, y'all, with that being said, I wanted to just elaborate on that inspiration from this morning. And y'all, I'm going to definitely do better about going live. I know a lot of y'all have missed me over the last couple of days, last couple of weeks. And I'm just going to tighten up on that, y'all. So y'all definitely keep me in your prayers. I love each and every one of y'all dearly. For the new babies that's watching or watching on the replay, I am your host, Nicole. And this has been another live for Pray and Slay to the Kingdom with Nicole. I love y'all and have a great night.